Hello everybody, so this should be your file that we just finished from last episode, and today we're going to go over if statements, and essentially also known as condition statements. So condition statements, I'm going to delete everything that we had. Condition statements look like this: if, and then you hit tab twice, it says true. So whenever you hear me say we're going to check, or if we're going to compare, that's going to be an if statement, because an if statement can say, like, if this is true, if a certain value is true, so we'll type in a boolean saying like can print equals true, right? And then we say if can print, we will say console dot write line I can print. And then the other side of the if statement, oops, yeah, you can't do that with this, is an else statement. The other side of an if is always an else. So we're always saying like, hey, if this happens, then we do this. If this doesn't happen, otherwise, which is an else, we will decide to say console, so CW, I can't print, and there you go. That is a very simple if statement. Now you can see how this would work if you're looking for different things. So for example, if you have somebody typing in and you're saying like, hey, if the person types this, then we can say something. So for example, I'm going to say bool can print, and we're going to say if can print, we're going to print, right? So up here, we're going to do, so what console.readline is, and I know I just kind of like started writing without saying anything. What this is essentially saying like, hey, I'm going to read whatever the user puts in. And we're going to say, okay, user input equals console.readline, CW. And then we're going to say, can you see this? Right? This is going to be a very cool statement. And so we're going to say if user input equals string yes, or, and this is the or operator, or user input equals yes, then we want to say can print. I'm going to relocate this up there. Can print equals true, else can print equals false. Now, if we run this, should just exit right out. Yes. There you go. It says I can print. If I type anything else in there, let's say avocados, it says I can't print because it's expecting a literal statement. Now, when if statements are checking each other, saying like, if this is equal to this, we can say, okay, you know, user input equals a capital Y-E-S, right? So yes, can print equals true, and then we're going to check again down here. If I can print, then I'll print I can print. Otherwise, I'll say I can't print if the user types in yes with a space after or before, or completely mistypes the whole thing. One thing that helps the user, and you always want to make sure that the user will never deviate from what you want them to do, you can say, can you see this? Answer yes or no. Or, so yes or no, right? And then we're going to also say this. We're going to put in a statement, an else if. And what an else if does is essentially, it says, if this is not true, if the user does not input yes or yes. Instead, if the user inputs string no, or we have to say can print equals false. As you can see, this is essentially stating that if this is not true, so it doesn't equal yes, then we're going to look at this next if statement, which is essentially an else if in this line, and it says, hey, if I can't print this, if this variable does not equal this or this, then we need to check, hey, does this variable now equal this or this? And if it doesn't equal any of those, if it equals avocados or God or, C++ or I hate this, anything that says anything that isn't what we're expecting, there's a condition statement that essentially catches those issues and says, okay, otherwise it's just false. And it comes down to here and it will say, hey, what is can print? Is can print true? If it is, then we're just going to say, okay, I can print. Otherwise, we're going to say I can't print. Okay? So essentially, down here, the reason why we say user input or can print equals true, it's the same exact thing as saying if can print. Because since can print is a Boolean value, a true or false, we're just going to say, okay, since it's a true or false, we're saying if can print is true, we'll do this. If it's not true, then we're going to say otherwise, we're going to do this. Because essentially it's comparing, hey, is this true? Are we expecting this outcome? That's it. I can go over that in more detail when we go into actual coding. This is just kind of like showing, hey, this is like the beginnings of condition statements. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, have a great rest of your day.